If y'all hear some heavy breathing in the back, that's my little brother sleeping. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I had this on my mind because I was on Twitter, and this woman, she repeatedly wrote sexual coercion is rape, and she had her opinions. I can't remember. I can't even look back into it, but that one's been on my mind because you seen that, and then I watched Donovan Sharp, and Donovan Sharp was explaining how sexual coercion is not rape. So it's one of those things where I feel like when it comes to rape, I've always said rape is very vague because depending on who the person is, um, depending on who the person is, rape could be you touching the person and you're raping. Some people's like you're raping me with my eyes. I've like you think it's ridiculous, but when you hear some of these people talk, you like they're really serious about it. Now, me, I've always said men take rapes more seriously than women, and I stand by that because not only because we're not on a we believe you or believe all women thing. We're trying to like if you're going to say someone raped you, I want to know full details. I want to know everything. Look, I understand there's people that don't want to come forward, but at the same time, and I say this all the time, if that person, and I don't like, if I have daughters, I hope like they don't get raped, but at the same time, she telling me to get raped, we're going right to the doctors. We get a rape kit, and I'm trying to get that motherfucker in jail. And it's like that's just me when it comes to rape. So sexual coercion, like if you really look at the definition, I could speak. Definition of coercion is really to force or intimidate. The origin. The base word is coerce, which is basically to force or intimidate someone into doing something that they don't want. By that definition, yeah, sexual coercion is rape. But the thing is, I don't feel like coercion is the right way to use because the example usually people put up is like, let's say your husband wants to have sex and the wife doesn't, and she says no, no, and then she go, come on, it's like fine, all right, I will have sex. Did was he intimidating or was you annoyed or was he a smooth talk? The thing is like I can understand you not have. To me, I can understand you not having sex with someone that you really don't want to have sex with. Men do it all the time. It's called taking one for the team. Sometimes we have sex with women we don't want to really have sex with, but in order for our bands to score, we'll have sex with the ugly chick. Now, with that being said, I've always said this: nothing's more definitive than a straight no. Honey, do you no? Baby, can you no? Could you please no? And I feel like if you like give in, I feel like if you give in and give them some, um, I don't really call it coercion. Now, if he's like bribing you, I don't like. Here's the thing: like consent is really, 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 really. It, I know people just like, no, it's really black and white. It's either yes or no, but it's just like you gave, even though if you don't want to, you gave me to consent to give uh to have sex. And it's like I don't and this is coming from a person I don't want to rape nobody, and it's like I know it's like a person to person basis, but I always felt like when it comes to this, we need to have some type of ground. And the problem as a man that I have with this is that, and it's mostly with women. It's like I feel like I'm pretty sure men does this too, but it's to me it's like it mostly comes with the women because what is your idea of consent? And I think that's the first thing you need before you have sex with anybody. What is your idea of consent? You need to ask both sexes, what is your idea of consent? Um, what because sometimes you don't know when the woman is in the mood or not, and all the other stuff. Now she could be in the mood and she could want to give you some, and then like for some reason, she all of a sudden just not in the mood and you stop. It happens. I've seen people happen. This is like hell. I've like one time when I was having sex with my ex, I didn't feel like doing it, so I just stopped it. I said, "Look, yo, get up." I had, all right, not in the mood. Like I felt bad, but at the same time, it's just like I did not want to have sex. Now she was upset because she was like really in the mood, but at the same time, it's just like, yo, I just not feeling it. Not like we both. No, me and my ex, we both respected each other, and then like when she like most of the time, because majority of the time when she wanted it, I wanted it too. But that was like the one time, one of the few times where I just didn't want it. Um, where am I going with this? I feel like we need. Well, for one, I've always said this: the young kids don't even. I feel like there are situations. I always say this: I don't blame you for getting raped, but you do got to take accountability of the position you are in. All right, just like if you're, for example, if you are drunk and you get behind a wheel and you crash into somebody, you take accountability for that because you was drunk driving when you're not supposed to operate a vehicle while drunk. You have to take accountability for that. Now, like our old heads, now, and this is talking to the younger people, like my age and younger. Our old heads used to have these sayings for, especially for like late nights like these, like first things first, ain't nothing open at 2 o'clock in the morning except fast food and legs. The freaks come out at night. A dry person, a wet pussy doesn't mix. Um, ain't ain't nothing going on good at just ain't nothing going on and good at 2 o'clock in the morning. All right, and there are sometimes there are unspoken laws. Like I used to have these booty call hours. Like and I've let women know. First things first, I've always let women know because I want you to know where I stand before we do anything. I've said anything past 12 o'clock. If you call me to come over your house, I'm expected some sex, even if you don't give me none. And I'm not saying I'm entitled to sex, but it's just like I have booty call hours from like 12 to like 5 in the morning. If you want to call me, and I told people this, if you're going to call me and spend the night over your house, I'm expected to like get some, to get some. This is like don't and if you know this, if you call me in his house, I'm expecting it. Now if I'm gonna ask you, now this is me, I'm gonna ask you, this is booty call, so if I'm going over there, gonna be getting something, right? Now if you say no, then I'm gonna be like, then I'm not going over there. It's like, why waste my time? It's the same thing. It's like, now a lot of people will look at maybe people will look at it weird, but at the same time, I'm setting my standards. It's like if you're coming, like if I'm going to like spend all my time going over there, I should at least spend. That's why I tell people like, look, if I spend over $200 on a date, I feel like I should get some. That's another, that's me setting a standard. At least you know where I'm coming from. So if you feel like some girls feel like you ain't doing shit unless you spending $200 in a day. But to me, it's just like if I spend over $200, I should get some booty because it's my time. I'm putting my time and money in. I should get something out of it. And I think a lot of people, and we're living in a day and age where people trying to get sugar daddies and all that other stuff. So they're trying to get the most out of an individual without giving something up. And I always feel like like unless they let you, and unless they're stupid enough to let you, um, there even trades and something like that. Sometimes I feel like if I pay for $200 and you give me something, that's an even trade. Some things is just like it's just like even sugar daddy. It's like if I pay for your trip to Jamaica, I'm expecting you to like just like give me sex on. I want to say sex on the man, but you're expecting sex out of it. It's like I'm spending all my time and money and I'm doing this. You think I'm gonna do this just because I like you? Nah, I need something out of it, and I don't feel. I feel like that's to me. I always felt like that's fair because it's an exchange of trades. I get what I want, you get what you want. But look, what's the moral of the story? Let me bottom line this because I still gotta do laundry. Yes, I'm doing laundry at 3 in the morning. So what's the bottom line? What's the moral of all this? Always ask for consent. Rape is bad. Make sure you get the consent of the opposite sex or the same sex, or however y'all flow. Um, Young people, you need to learn from your older people that there are just like unwritten rules of the night that I feel like y'all don't have to follow, but I feel like it also puts y'all in situations that you don't want to be in. Something because the streets, I'm sorry, the streets, they work a different way than you do. And I feel like a lot of people are not preparing your kids for times like these where you're in a situation like you meet a dude at a club and he asks you to come to his house. He's like you should already know that man wants some sex. What else? What else would he? Why else would he ask you to come over his place for? You know, I feel like a lot of y'all should understand these rules. You may not be with it. I'm not even saying to do it, but at least understand these rules and make sure you don't get caught up in stuff. Because I don't want to see people get caught up. So now, as far as coercion go, by definition, yeah, I can understand why she says sexual coercion is rape. See, I can understand it why sexual, but I don't feel. The thing is, I feel like there are things. Do you really want to call it coercion? Because some people are just good, and they're not forcing you to intimidate. They kind of like smooth talk their way. I feel like if a man smooth talks away into sex, that's not coercion. But if he, um, you know, if he has the power of the tongue, but if he like forces you, or yes, that is obviously rape. But I think in short, I feel like there should be other words for it instead of coercion. I feel like coercion shouldn't be the only word because if you say coercion, if you go by definition, yeah, you're going to lose that battle. But I feel like some things are a fair trade, and I think some things are just it's the way of the world. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think because this is one of these 3 in the morning thoughts that I'll be having, and that's why I got this channel for. Today, my name is Oski on Fly, and I'm out. Peace.